Ocean Story is with you, and I have new stories that touch me. I am currently working on a project that takes a lot of time. My job is to make computer graphics for various games. The work takes up almost all day, and I don't have much time for my personal life. I also have a girlfriend, Isabella, who has a regular job. She is often unhappy that I don't spend enough time with her. Even though she knows that I have a lot of work to do during the day, Isabella always wants me to be with her. But it creates some problems between us. Isabella often tells her mom that she hardly ever sees me. So sometimes Isabella's mom comes over to tell me about the importance of a normal relationship. I love my girlfriend, but it's a time when I have a lot of projects to do. However, Isabella thinks that if I don't pay attention to her, it means that I don't love her. No matter how many times I talk to her about it, it's never enough. That week, Isabella suggested going to a cafe to spend time together. I told her I couldn't go out anytime soon, but we can order delicious food home and not waste time. Isabella got angry with me and said, "You don't want to have a relationship with anyone but your stupid job." We had a fight that night. Isabella called her mom as usual and told her that I had acted like a shit. I ordered food to take home without Isabella's consent. When the food arrived, we sat in the kitchen to enjoy the moment. Isabella was silent the whole time and just ate. I was very embarrassed that my girlfriend was so offended. We have had similar stories before, but this is something new for me. Over time, things started to get worse for me. For the next 2 days, Isabella didn't want to talk to me and tried to avoid me. I decided to talk to her about it. Isabella said, "I don't feel like you love me. You used to be willing to put aside everything you had to do to be with me for 5 minutes, but now you don't care about me." I apologized to Isabella and said that I would try to make it up to her. That day, I suggested that Isabella go to a neighboring town for a few days. Isabella said she agreed and went to think about what she would take with her. I took my laptop with me to keep in touch with my work colleagues. As we were driving, Isabella asked me if I was going to sit at my laptop during my vacation. I assured her that I wouldn't be sitting at it that much. We decided to go on vacation for 5 days. The first day was great, and I even felt like I rebooted. The next day, early in the morning, I received a message from a colleague that I needed to review his work. When Isabella woke up, she saw that I had been sitting at work since the morning. Isabella said, "Are you up to it again? We agreed that you would not have a job on vacation." I told my girlfriend, "Don't worry, I just need to check my friend's work. It won't take long." But Isabella's mood was ruined for the rest of the day. Even when we were having breakfast, Isabella was a little angry with me for breaking my word, even though I had warned her right away that I might be distracted by work for a while. Isabella was still angry with me and thought I had broken my promise. By the end of the day, Isabella was in a bad mood and couldn't enjoy her vacation because of me. The next day, I had almost no distractions, but my girlfriend told me to give her my phone back so she would be calm. It was hard for me to agree. But what can't you do for your favorite girl? When our walk ended at 6 in the evening and Isabella gave me my phone back, I had a lot of messages from my project manager. My boss wrote that we needed to urgently finish the rest of the project. Otherwise, our company would have to return the deposit. This was unacceptable to me because it meant that I would not get paid for my work soon. So I had to spend the remaining 2 days of my vacation working on my laptop. My girlfriend was very angry with me and said that I had broken my word again and was working on vacation. Isabella said she was very upset that she had to spend the remaining 2 days alone. We ended up having a fight. Isabella thinks that I don't need anything but to have a job, but that's not really true. Isabella doesn't want to realize that my life and hers depend on my work. My girlfriend thinks I'm an asshole for not keeping her word. Isabella's mother calls me several times a day and makes me apologize to her daughter for ruining her vacation. I don't think I did anything wrong in this situation because these were not conscious actions, but certain circumstances that are essentially beyond my control. Isabella started threatening to leave me. "Oliver, what's going on with you? Are you in a relationship with an adult girl or an 18-year-old girl who wants attention around the clock? It seems to me that your girlfriend Isabella is not mature enough to be in a relationship with you. Why did she even bring her mom into your relationship? It seems like you talk to Isabella's mom more often than you talk to Isabella. You shouldn't react to your girlfriend's provocations. If Isabella can't understand that there are more important things than constant partying, it's not your problem. Man, you need to dump this fool. Otherwise, she will keep making you look like a jerk for not paying attention to her. A healthy relationship shouldn't have a kindergarten like this. If everyone broke up after a few working days, in the middle of a vacation, there would be 30% fewer families in the world than there are now. Sophia, I don't understand why your girlfriend is so conflicted. Perhaps she doesn't have a father, so she wants attention from an adult male. When Isabella doesn't get that attention, she runs to her mom and complains about you. This behavior is only acceptable for children, not for people over 25. Your girlfriend needs to grow up and understand. In adult life, there may be exceptions, even if it's a vacation. I also have situations when I get a call from work in the middle of the weekend. And what, now my husband has to file for divorce? It looks very stupid and strange. Your girlfriend thinks she can easily manipulate you. If I were you, I would agree with what Isabella said and let her go. You will be very happy when this problem is out of your life. Don't hang on to people like Isabella because they steal all your energy and make you feel guilty about everything. Now I want to tell a different story. I divorced my ex-wife and have a daughter with her who is now 12 years old. I am now remarried to a girl named Charlotte who is 1 year younger than me. I am now 34 years old. I have been married to Charlotte for 4 years, and she has a son, Benjamin, and a girlfriend, Mia. My daughter has a good relationship with my new wife's stepchildren. We all live in the house that my grandfather inherited. There are 3 rooms in the house, so the girls sleep in one room, and my wife's son sleeps separately. Despite the fact that our house is small, I never forbade my children to bring their friends. I know how important it is for children to be in society. My daughter Amelia lives with Mia, but she is more of an introvert. I can't say that this is a problem, but sometimes my daughter comes to me and says that she is tired of living next to Mia. Anyway, that week my parents were supposed to have a Christmas party. We all got together as a family to go to their house. My dad was in business when he was younger, so he built a big house with lots of rooms. When I was a kid, my brother and I were free to play with a soccer ball in our rooms. So our kids in Charlotte were happy that we were going to my parents' house instead of Charlotte's parents' house, where there was almost no room to put your foot down. We came to my parents for 3 days. Since we had seen them only a few times all year, we needed time to be together as a family. My new family gets along well with my parents and other relatives. Everyone except my daughter because of her personality. Amelia is very picky about everyone. She does not humiliate anyone, but if she does not like someone or something, Amelia does not tolerate it and leaves. After we finished the festive evening, the question arose where we should place our children. I suggested that all the girls should sleep 2 by 2 in each of the rooms. The boys were to sleep in the same way. I also said that it would be great if the children slept with other people than their own siblings to strengthen family ties. All the parents agreed to this suggestion. I suggested to my daughter that she go to my cousin's sister's room. 5 minutes later, I put Amelia in that room. She came in and said that the girl she was supposed to sleep with was snoring very badly and was keeping her awake. We went to look at the other 2 rooms. In each of the rooms, Amelia found something she didn't like and started crying that she had no place to sleep. I had no choice but to put Amelia in my bed and sleep in the living room. This was not how I wanted to spend the holiday night, but I had no other choice. My wife was a little surprised that I wasn't going to sleep with her tonight. In the morning when we woke up, my wife's daughter was a little upset that she was forced to sleep with a girl who talked while she slept and that she didn't get enough sleep. And my daughter was happy in her mother's arms. I explained to Mia that my daughter is very picky and very hard to please. But Mia started to get angry with me and said that I was putting my daughter before her and Benjamin. I continued to assure the little girl that she was wrong. But Mia is no ordinary girl either, so she told her mom that she was upset with me. Charlotte told me to handle the situation because she agreed with her daughter on some points. None of my apologies had any effect in the conversation with Mia. She believes that I am always trying to please my daughter and that I do not take good care of her and her brother. After all, according to Mia, I didn't care where she and Benjamin would sleep. but I spent 20 minutes walking with my daughter to create the perfect conditions for her. Mia is very upset with me about it. My wife also began to blame me for spending all my time with my daughter, making her the absolute favorite among the children. I do not believe that it was exactly as the children and Charlotte described it. I apologized to the children and said that I would not be so rude to them again. Even though Mia is not very old, she behaves very adult sometimes. Mia said that she was giving me a trial period, and if I pay attention only to Amelia again, she would not talk to me. My wife said that was quite fair. I talked to my brother about it. He said, "You've earned these conditions." Personally, I don't agree with my family's opinion. It's not about me making my daughter the center of attention. What was I supposed to do, according to the majority? Just ignore my daughter's request. No parent who loves his children would do that. I explained to my children and my wife that if Mia or Benjamin approached me, I would definitely help them. But my wife demands that I reconcile with her daughter. In turn, Mia does not believe me that I am ready to take care of her and her brother the way I take care of my daughter. I must be a bad stepfather who has lost the trust of my children. Elijah, I actually very much agree with the 2 points of view. I can understand the author as a father because there's nothing wrong with actually refusing a child's request to get a good night's sleep. But you shouldn't forget about other children who are watching your actions better than judges at a competition. When children are tired, they want to feel that they are cared for and not disturbed. So as a dad, the author failed a bit in these matters. I can't call the author a jerk or a negligent dad. He needs to be more vigilant and kind to all the children in his care. Lucas, it is unfortunate to see that the author's actions seem to favor his daughter over his stepsons. While it's natural to care for your own child, it's important to strike a balance when families mix. Prioritizing the comfort and needs of one child over the others can create a sense of injustice and division. As a parent, you should strive to create an environment where all children feel equally valued and respected. Until you do, you will not be able to give enough attention to all children. For some of them, you will be an asshole, not a dad. Harper, I am concerned that the author's actions have inadvertently caused friction between his daughter and stepchildren. While no parent should ignore their child's needs, it is equally important to avoid favoritism that may alienate others. You should work to treat all children equally and demonstrate a genuine commitment to their well-being. If you continue to pay attention only to your daughter, this will cause a lot of fights in your family. I wouldn't even be surprised if Charlotte decided to leave you. My dad was also an asshole who didn't give a damn about his kids. So I know how important it is to have a normal dad. A story that really surprised me. My husband Jason and I have been together for 11 years and have 2 young children. Jason works a good job and I take care of the family while my husband is away. I don't have parents of my own because my aunt and her husband took care of me and my 2 sisters since I was a baby. Madeline is a very nice woman who took care of me and my family a lot. Her husband Liam didn't have a lot of income, so we had money for basic needs in the family. I can't say that we lived very poorly and ate 2 meals a day, but my life wasn't full of going to the movies every week and having a treat before dinner. Despite my poor life as a teenager, my sisters and I were able to go to a good college and get important knowledge. Thanks to my studies, I was able to get a good job. This year, my aunt said that she and Liam could afford to take me to the ocean for a week so we could go surfing. It was my teenage dream that everyone knew about. My aunt and uncle started their business 2 years ago, and their financial situation has become very good. When I heard their offer, I was very happy. My husband and I do not spend money on such trifles because we have 2 children and we need to raise them, and we should not forget about the usual needs. Moreover, my children will have birthdays soon, and Jason and I need to be well prepared. To tell the truth, my aunt and uncle have been helping our family financially for a long time. My aunt and uncle feel some guilt for not being able to provide for me and my sisters when we were young, but my uncle is only willing to give money for my own needs. It has always been a mystery to me why they do this. Liam and Madeline's attitude towards my husband has been deteriorating for a long time. After we got married to Jason, my uncle told me several times that Jason was not good for me, but my uncle could never give me a precise reason why he thought so. Maybe it was personal reasons because Jason is a little shorter than me. Anyway, my uncle agreed to take me on the trip, But without my husband and children, I started to feel torn in two, one part of my mind telling me that leaving my husband alone with the kids was not the right thing to do. The other part of my mind said that I had an absolute right to go and have a vacation, since I had been babysitting so much. We talked about this with Jason. My husband said that it would be nice if we could go to the ocean as a family to go surfing. However, we knew that it would not be very cheap, and it was not in our budget at the moment. I asked my uncle if it was possible to take my husband at least once. Liam replied, "Of course it is possible, if he buys a plane ticket and rents a hotel room at his own expense." My husband was very upset that he would not be able to fly with me. My sister started to persuade me to go with them, because if she had to be with her parents alone, she would go crazy. Finally, I told my husband that I wanted to go to the resort with my family. "Jason, you realize that this is my childhood dream, and now that I have the opportunity, I have no right to let it go." My husband started to say, "What about our children's holiday? How will I manage everything alone? You forgot that I have a job and have to go to my brother once a week. I won't have the time to think about the details of our children's holiday." I told him, "Jason, you are exaggerating. I will think about everything on the road and send you a message." My husband continued to panic and express his dissatisfaction. My uncle said that I should not pay attention to Jason's words. He's just jealous of you, so he doesn't want you to go without him. Maybe my uncle is partly right. In any case, my husband does not want to let me go on the trip. I consulted my friend and she said it would be okay if I went with my family, because you've been taking care of the kids all year and deserve a trip. My friend assured me that I should go and ignore my husband. I decided to listen to my family and my friend. So when Jason came home from work, he saw me packing my things. He asked me if I was going to leave him, and I told him of course I was. I had to take care of the kids for a whole year, so I deserved it. We had a little quarrel, and that day I went to my sister's house. And from there, we started our trip. My husband is very angry with me because I put my personal entertainment above my family's needs. It may seem so from the outside, but don't I deserve a vacation? I think my husband is wrong to be so angry with me. If he had the opportunity to go away and I had to stay at home, I would be happy for him. Emma, my friend, I am totally behind you in this situation because I realize how difficult this situation has been for you. It's clear that you've been taking care of your family and children a lot, and this vacation is a long-held dream of yours. You tried to consult with your husband and tried to accommodate everyone's needs, but in the end you decided to prioritize yourself this time. Taking a break does not mean that you valued your family less, as your proud husband thinks. This trip is also about taking care of yourself. Your aunt's offer was a unique opportunity, and it's understandable that you wanted to take advantage of it, because there may never be another offer like this. Your husband's reaction may be due to his own worries and responsibilities. But come on, Jason is a grown man who should be able to handle such situations. If he is offended by your desire to relax, then this is a very bad sign. Noah, on the one hand, your aunt's offer is a chance to fulfill a lifelong dream, and you have worked so hard for your family. On the other hand, your husband's fears that he won't be able to cope with the children, and his responsibilities are also justified. It is understandable that he will feel a bit overwhelmed when you leave. While it's important to take care of yourself, it's equally important to ensure that your family's needs are met. If you had stayed, your children would have had a wonderful holiday, and your husband would not have been so stressed. The problem is that you only think about your needs. And what about Jason's needs? He also works hard all year round and provides for the whole family. You have done very badly to Jason. At the very least, you have disrespected him. Olivia, your behavior is unacceptable to me. Your children's birthdays and your spouse's responsibilities were legitimate reasons for preferring to stay at home. It is important to remember that both partners in a marriage must consider each other's feelings and needs. The situation with your aunt and uncle also seems complicated, and their influence on your decisions adds another layer. It may be worth considering how to handle such situations in the future, keeping in mind the overall well-being of your family, instead of relying on the words of your friend, who literally makes you leave your husband for fun. It's as if the author of the story wants to be supported for her selfish decision, not judged. Next story. My father lost all respect for him after that incident. I had just turned 19 and was given a nice sum of money to buy a new camera. I also go to work after university and do laundry for 2 hours a day to have my own money. I don't earn much, but at least I don't have to ask my dad for money every day. Since my dad doesn't earn much, he pays the rent for his car. My university held an art contest for which they promised a prize of $300 for the first place. I realized that this was a great opportunity to show my skills in photography. When my dad asked me what I did with the money I got for the holiday, I told him that I bought a camera for $1,300. My dad was shocked and started asking why I needed such an expensive camera. I told him that it wasn't an expensive camera and I hadn't even bought a lens for it. My dad asked, "How much does your lens cost?" I told him about $7. My dad almost went crazy and left the room. In the evening, my father came to my room and said, "Son, you know that our family situation is not the best now. It would be great if you gave some of the money for family needs, because my salary will be delayed for a few days." I said, "Dad, why did you decide to ask me about this? I have $40 left in my pockets." After paying for the camera lens, my dad said, "Are some photos or a camera more important to you than the family's well-being?" I didn't know what to say to my father. He had been taking care of me all my life and sacrificing himself. But I really wanted to win the competition and get recognition and a cash prize. My dad said, "This victory is not as important as you think. Refuse to deliver the new lens and give me some of the money." I refused my dad because he wanted too much from me. Winning the contest meant not only getting money, but there was a possibility that someone would notice my talent. My dad could not accept this and forced me to give him the money. The next day, my dad asked me again to give up the lens or buy a cheaper camera. We had a fight and I told my dad, "I have to work after school to avoid taking money from you. I'm forced to work after university, so I don't have to take money from you. Why do you get to order me around and make me sell my camera?" My dad said, "You don't have to sell your camera, but don't be surprised if we have nothing in the fridge tonight." My dad forced me to sell my camera, which I had been dreaming about for several years. After that, I didn't even want to talk to my dad, especially when 2 weeks later the contest was over, and the winner was a guy who was always making fun of me. It was because I had a cheap camera that I didn't have enough quality. My photo was recognized as the best, and I was put in third place with a prize of $60. I didn't even want to take the money. It was just another reminder of what had happened. I told my mom, who has been divorced from my dad for a long time, about everything. She was very angry with my dad and fought with him a lot, but my father did not admit his guilt. He said that he showed his son the complexities of life. For a month, my father never apologized to me for his disgusting behavior. My mom promised to help me save up for a new camera, while my father has not even lifted a finger to help me with this. I think my dad was very unfair to me. He could have borrowed some money from his brother, who never said no, no matter what anyone says to me. I don't want to talk to my dad or be around him until he apologizes and helps me buy a new camera. I will not start to respect him. William, your dad is a rare asshole who found a quick way to solve his financial problems. You may be a little older now, but that doesn't mean you should be the one to take care of the family's problems. Your dad is the only one to blame for not making enough money to support himself and his child. You shouldn't have listened to your father. You should have called your mother right away. In that case, she would have invited you to her house and you would not have gone hungry. Your father would have been exhausted and had to solve the money problems himself. I hate it when other people want to solve all their problems at the expense of others. That's exactly what your dad did when he approached you. It's very immoral when a dad knows that his son has an important dream, and a few days later, he just forces you to give up your dream. Ava, I am very sorry to read about the father's actions in this story. While it is important to manage family finances, the way he handled this situation was unfair and unsupportive. Instead of understanding his son's passion and dreams, he focused solely on the monetary needs, without considering the emotional impact, forcing his son to give up what he had worked hard for, and then not even apologizing for his behavior was simply unfair. I can't imagine doing that to my child. James, it's natural for parents to prioritize family finances, but there is a right way to approach such situations. Ignoring their son's feelings and dreams and demanding money without trying to understand the significance of the camera and the art contest shows a lack of emotional intelligence and support. There should have been an open dialogue and compromise, but demanding money and forcing your son to sell a cherished item without considering the long-term consequences is disgusting on your father's part. Instead of being a reliable support, your father has turned this situation into a power struggle, ignoring his son's aspirations. I hope your mother gave your father a good beating for his stupid actions. My next story. I have my family of 3 children. My parents also have children of their own, who are my sister and brother. In total, there were 3 children in my parents' family, and I am the youngest. My sister Evelyn lives a free life with her boyfriend, and we have almost no contact with each other. My sister's family has 2 boys who are no more than 6 years old. One boy is from her last boyfriend, to whom Evelyn was not even married. My children were born after my marriage to Abigail. My relationship with my older sister hasn't been the best since Evelyn went away to college. There she started going out with her peers and stopped accepting me. So when we got older, the situation didn't change much. My older brother Logan is on better terms with me. We even go to a cafe together with our families once a month. Abigail and I have a wedding anniversary coming up, and we will be celebrating our 10th year of marriage. We invited all our close relatives to this event. I decided to write to my sister and invite her to the celebration. Evelyn refused to come, saying that she had important things to do. I did not ask her to come. I know that her job as head of security at one of the leading internet companies is very important. Although I don't get along with my sister very well, Evelyn rarely wanted to miss a family holiday. For some time, my wife and I have been working on preparations for our holiday. Abigail is a very responsible and synthetic person, so she makes sure that there are no problems at the party and that everyone feels a good atmosphere. Most of all, it took us a while to decide on the list of dishes. We had to have about 8 different families at the party. Some people have allergies or certain health problems, so for several days we were just deciding what we were going to cook for the holiday. Our relatives had 2 families where they had to eat only diet food. At the end of the preparation days, my head hurt like crazy. My brother Logan came to my house the day before the holiday to ask if Abigail and I were planning to go to Evelyn's. I told him that we had no plans to do so. My brother said, "Didn't Evelyn invite you to her son's birthday party?" At this point, I sat down on the couch, almost dropping the beer bottle out of my hands. My brother realized that he had said something he shouldn't have said, but it was too late, and I found out everything from Logan. My brother told me that a year ago, Evelyn got married and almost immediately became pregnant. It was a shock to me. No one had told me or my wife. Maybe some of our relatives knew about it, but definitely not us. It was because Evelyn gave birth to a son that she was unable to come to our holiday with Abigail. I was happy for my sister, of course, but I couldn't believe that she had decided to hide her pregnancy from the whole family. My wife was just as surprised as I was. When it was time to celebrate, I stood up and decided to give a sincere speech of gratitude. I started with our parents and sincerely thanked them for all the advice they gave Abigail and me. Then I thanked my brother Logan, who was always willing to help stay with our children while Abigail and I were away on business. Finally, I thanked my sister, who was not at the party. I said, "Thank you, Evelyn, for not coming to our anniversary with my wife because you had just given birth to your son and got married not so long ago." All the guests were very surprised and asked me if I had drunk too much to be talking such nonsense. I replied that I was just telling the truth and nothing more. After the celebration, many relatives wrote to my sister, congratulating her and expressing their indignation that she had kept silent. Evelyn found out that it was me who told everyone her secret at the party, and now everyone around her knows about her child. Evelyn called me a bastard and does not want to have anything to do with me ever again. I don't feel bad for telling my sister's secret, although maybe it was very bad of me. Alexander, dude, what you did is not normal. I can even condemn what you did to some extent, although it's perfectly normal to have complicated relationships with family members. But revealing the secret of your sister's pregnancy in front of everyone at the anniversary party was a tactless move. Even though your relationship with your sister may not be the best, there are certain boundaries and respect that should be maintained. It's disappointing to see how personal information was used to publicly humiliate her, destroying any chance of repairing your relationship in the future. You have not improved your relationship with Evelyn by doing so. You have doomed it to complete destruction, an act unworthy of a good brother. Ethan, I don't have the best relationship with all of my family members either, and we often fight. But even for me, your actions at the anniversary party were disrespectful and showed a disregard for your sister's privacy, regardless of any past hurt feelings. Sharing such personal news without her consent was a breach of trust. Family gatherings should ideally foster positive interaction and understanding, but your choices resulted in public humiliation. I believe that personal matters should be resolved only between people. Private relationships should never be resolved in front of the whole family. It's like when you asked that no one know anything. When you were talking to a friend, and the next day, other people know about your secret, even though your sister doesn't keep in touch with you. That's no reason to take revenge on Evelyn. Even your apology won't make up for all the guilt you feel towards Evelyn.